It's hard to state how big of a threat this is to the B2B distribution industry. Hundreds of multi-billion dollar B2B distributors, multi-billion dollar manufacturers, tens of thousands of small to mid-sized businesses, which will all come under pressure. There are a bunch of vertical specific B2C marketplaces that are carving out their territory. Amazon Business, this was in a call with an analyst. It's been a couple of years since they last disclosed what their GMV was for Amazon Business. This article here is saying that Amazon Business disclosed they're doing $25 billion in annual sales. We take that as GMV. And within this report, they talk about how a majority of that $25 billion is from third-party sellers. Amazon said over half of Amazon Business's annualized sales are from third-party sellers. If you remember the 2018 portion of third-party sales relative to Amazon's 1P sales. So that 1P is where Amazon is buying and reselling those products. They're taking them onto balance sheet, and or it's Amazon Basics. So it's an Amazon product. It was 56% third-party sales, 44% 1P. And the chart was like this over the 20-year time horizon. So Amazon has not disclosed those breakouts and those ratios since then about what that split is between 1P and 3P sales. I think it actually got them, well, it gave us ammunition to paint the story, the tech monopoly story, the antitrust story for Amazon. We talk about that also on the show, but I won't get into that right now. But anyway, long story short, you had 56% for Amazon overall in 2018. That was released in Jeff Bezos's annual shareholder letter that came out in the spring of 2019, looking back on the year of 2018. And now Amazon Business is saying similarly, over half of these sales are from third-party sellers at the 25 billion threshold. They have also expanded into 8 different countries, and they have 5 million business customers using Amazon Business. In 2018, they were doing $10 billion in sales on Amazon Business. So when you annualize that growth rate, it's a little bit over 50% CAGR for what Amazon Business is seeing here, which would put them at, by 2023, one of the analysts, maybe last year, that covers the Amazon stock had predicted that Amazon Business would hit about $52 billion in GMV by the end of 2023. This is a 2020 number, this $25 billion. Applico had predicted that that number is too low, that number should really be up and closer to $75 billion. So if you're calculating where Amazon Business should be in 2 years' time, then yes, they should be right around that $52 billion GMV number. However, when you project out to the end of 2023, which is how we had calculated it and we had interpreted it, then it's actually more like $75 billion by the end of 2023. So because this is a 2020 number. So you got 3 more years, and if they continue to grow at roughly 50% CAGR, this is a $75 billion GMV business by the end of 2023. It's hard to state how big of a threat this is to the B2B distribution industry as a whole. We see it very important from Applico's mission, which is to help bring more balance to the power vacuum that when these tech monopolies come to dominate an industry, like what Amazon's trying to do in B2B, which is the largest industry in the United States, by the way. It's $6 to $8 trillion in size. There are hundreds of multi-billion dollar B2B distributors. There are hundreds of multi-billion dollar manufacturers, and there are tens of thousands of small to mid-sized businesses, if not hundreds of thousands of small to mid-sized businesses in both the distribution, fulfillment, and manufacturing part of this B2B economy, which will all come under pressure as Amazon Business starts to, or tries to, get to a similar level of monopoly dominance in B2B distribution like they have in B2C. So Applico is working, and I think you're actually going to start to see some pretty exciting news of some deals that we're helping enterprises, both on the distribution and manufacturing side, broker with tech startups. And that really is, I think, not the strategic path to be successful, but from an execution standpoint, that is really how I think 99 times out of 100, if you are a large traditional incumbent enterprise in B2B, either on the distribution or the manufacturing side of the equation, I think it's become abundantly clear to that audience that we need to work much more closely with the tech startup community. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And you know who is also the enemy of Amazon? Tech startups. You know what tech startups need more than capital? They need scale, particularly marketplace platform business models. They have a winner-take-all dynamic, because when you have a marketplace business model, you have a winner-take-all dynamic that only lets you have one or two winners. That power of that two-sided network effect, that demand and supply-sided network effect, helps then bring that monopoly power. So it's very important that we see more vertical specific winners in B2B distribution. As we've seen in B2C, as we've seen in B2B in China, you can absolutely have dominant winners that are more vertical specific marketplaces. You're seeing this in B2C in the United States. If you look at luxury goods, marketplaces like Farfetch and The RealReal. If you look at secondhand clothing, marketplaces like Poshmark, ThreadUp, Vestiaire Collective, which just received money from Kering, Vinted and Depop and others. If you look at sneaker marketplaces like GOAT and StockX, if you look at watch marketplaces like Chrono24, there are a bunch of vertical specific B2C marketplaces that are carving out their territory, despite Amazon having such a huge, dominant, monopolistic power and head start in B2C as a dominant marketplace. You're also seeing Walmart come from behind and carve out a strong number 2 spot behind Amazon as a multi-category marketplace in B2C. In China, similarly, we have seen strong B2B vertical specific marketplaces carve out their territory from the multi-category dominant players like an Alibaba, Taobao, JD.com, and others. So this future is absolutely possible. That's what Applico is working to do. There'll be more news on this coming about how enterprises and startups can come and work more closely with one another to help each other and fight back against the common enemy. If this news wasn't a wake-up call, I don't know what is. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.